What's up, everybody? I'm back with another tool deals video, and today we're going to be talking about this portable power station that I received from, and I'm looking at the box and realize I don't see the name of this company anywhere. Well, maybe it's stamped on the machine somewhere. All right, now before we get to opening this up, we're going to use our little Olight multi-tool here. But we see that it's 600 watts. I'm assuming 600 watts out. And, you know, from the picture, one thing I like already is the fact that this thing has a battery percent gauge. Also tells you the time and all that. And then the watts. Oh, that's interesting. I'm interested to see if it has the watts in and the watts out. But we do see output right here. So maybe it'll pop up over there and then it's in. But that battery indicator, yes. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. One thing that I do find interesting is how labeled everything is, the box. Because a lot of times when it comes to these things, I know like my EcoFlow stuff just comes in brown boxes most of the time. But that's also because I buy refurbished EcoFlow stuff. So that's probably what that is. So here we are, 600 watt, nice sized manual here. You don't always see that, so that's important. Oh, there's some stuff in there. There's some stuff in there. Let's check that out. Oh, as soon as I open this up, look, it's a power brick. I mean, that's not always terrible, but I don't always like finding power bricks. They get in the way. It's another bulky thing to carry around. Let's see, what is this? All right, let's go ahead and open these bags up real quick. And we just have the other half of the power brick and the DC charging port. So let's go ahead and see if I can pull this out. Oh, it has a nice handle. See if I can pull this out while filming. Slight lightweight, which is saying something because the Bluettis, they weren't this light. This doesn't even feel like it's 20 pounds to be 600 watts, but maybe it has a small capacity, which we're going to look at. So look, it has a name, Hamswan, which is funny because it's very kind of similar to my last name. We have your solar inputs here, which is interesting. This was very easy to flop down. Your 24 volt, 10 amp. I guess these would be outlets. Doesn't really specify. Well, 24 and 12 volt right there. So I don't think that's for charging the unit. I'm gonna have to read the manual on that. DC on and off. Okay, here we go. DC input. So of course these are out. So it has two like cigarette lighter type outlets, 24 volt and 12 volt. Your power button, pure sine. Only two outlets, but they're two 20 amp outlets. Your 60 watt USB-C charger, quick charge 18 watt, and then your regular USB-A. Anything on the back? No. You have a light on the side. And let's check the capacity on this thing and look at the specs real quick. All right, so here we see we have 642 watt hours. That's actually quite impressive. 600 watts out, the two AC outputs, solar panel. It'll take 36 volt panel and it will charge 100 to 400 watts, which is also pretty impressive for this to be a budget unit. What I'm going to do is go ahead and charge it up, and then we'll get to playing around with it. Another thing I wanted to point out, because a lot of times on the boxes and on the label and stuff, it'll say lithium ion cells, but it still be a LiFePO for a lithium iron phosphate battery. But no, look at that. Lithium ion cells at 18650. Not even the like good lithium ion cells. This is super old technology. All right, so one interesting thing and I'll demonstrate real quick for you. As soon as I plugged it in, it already had all the information, the watts that it was taking in, the time it was going to take to be done charging. Normally, units don't do that quickly. And you only have to calculate a little bit. The power brick was dead quiet, and so was the unit. Let's see here. Plug it in. Bam. Boom. 82 watts in, hour and a half. That was pretty fast. But again, this is a lithium ion set here, not a lithium iron phosphate. And I'm going to go ahead and let it finish charging, see if it takes the actual hour and a half. It's only pulling in 82 watts, which is horribly slow. So there's that again. But again, we're going to see. I don't even know how much this thing costs. The company just reached out to me and just said, hey, would you like to try one? And I'm like collecting portable generators. So sure. I think I did notice that it was lithium ion in hindsight. And I just decided I'd just take it anyway because you never know. But I don't know how much this thing costs. So I'm going to check that. I'll get back to you once this thing is done and we can try some stuff out. All right. So this thing has been fully charged for a minute now. I mean, at least 30, 40 minutes. And it's still drawing power. So it looks like it's gradually dwindling down, even though it's at 100%. And maybe it could be because it's new and it's, topping off. This is a lithium ion battery. So maybe it's like, oh, even though it says 100%, keep going until this reads 0 to really, really top it off and condition the battery. Well, for an update, it eventually stopped and turned off. So what I'm going to do now, it's late as I don't know what, it's midnight. I'm going to unplug this. I'm going to turn this on, which is interesting because you just push it. There's no button to hold down. And we're going to leave the inverter on for 12 hours and see where the battery is after 12 hours. So far, the only unit that has handled this well, the EcoFlows handle it well because they eventually just turn off but in timeout, and you can control how long they stay on in their app. But for the units that don't have app support and they're like more mid-range, the Yolanis has handled this the best. So we'll see what this does. All right, we're back the next morning and let's just take a look. It's at 86%. And at some point, this did shut off. And when I woke up kind of early, it was like, I checked on it at like 8. This had already shut off. So this between 12 a.m. and 8 a.m. dropped down to 14%. And there's no telling when it's actually shut off. It could have shut off at 4 o'clock in the morning. Who knows? And it dropped 14%, which is awful. The next thing I want to do is, I've done this before in the past and I had some issues. We're going to charge this Olight I got and see if it records any watts out. Okay, so it's not measuring anything. I'm going to switch it from the 5 volt 2.4. This is what? About 12 watts. And this is 18 watts. Let's try that. The light is definitely on. All right, yeah, so it's not displaying anything. This has been a common issue, though. I'm going to take this out real quick, and I'm going to plug this into the Delta 2. Let's see if it does anything. All right, light is on. There we go. No, it's showing with the output. 4 watts. Let's put it inside of the other one. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's nice and tight. All right, so there's the slower charger one, and it's still displaying 4 watts, but at least it's displaying something as opposed to nothing at all. This is why I like EcoFlow products. For kicks and giggles, we're going to go ahead and, I haven't turned the Pecron on in a minute. We're going to test this with the Pecron and the Yolanis. I haven't had great experiences with the Yolanis. I used it and was using a DC out, and it eventually like kind of popped the thing out, and the power was inconsistent because it wouldn't, when I would push it in, it would like push it out a little bit, I couldn't get it to stand, so I had to use something else. And I do like the display on the Yolannis. It sometimes though the display goes out, like it'll dim on half the side. All right, so let's see. You can see that it's flickering. The USB is definitely on. Now it's green and it's flickering. Okay, well, I don't know what that is. Let's plug it into something else. Flickering. That one was easy to slide in. It wasn't so tough. Probably noticed. That one was also easy. More flickering. Those seem to be actually pushed in further. Huh. And this is why we try stuff, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right, back to the Pecron. I think this will be... I've never had any issues with the Pecron. See, there you go. Red. Showing 5 watts out. Yeah. I've never had any gripes with Pecron, though. Their inverter is pretty hungry. So if you have the AC on, that thing is going to eat that battery up. But yeah, this, I just wouldn't recommend this either. All right, so what we're about to do next is we're going to test the AC out, and we're just going to charge a battery. Now I just wanted to show something. We have our Flex Rapid charger right here, the fast charger. And then we just have the Metabo 36 volt charger. They do have one that comes with 18 volt tools, but this is a charge. The one that's 18 volt would also charge 36 volt batteries, but this is the one that we push this button, you can charge other devices. Basically, basic, unassuming charger, right? So this is fast charging. So if we take a look at the back of this Flex charger here, we see that it has a rating of 160 watts. We take a look at this unassuming Metabo HPT because my thing was I wanted to make sure I had a charger that can, put up some kind of numbers, right? And I was concerned that the Metabo HPT couldn't do that. But if we come over here and take a gander, 195 watts. That's significantly more than this Flex, but it's not a fast charger. It's not saying any of that. I am so shocked. Anyway, let's go ahead and plug this in and see what it does. Now, I do like the outlets because those are supposed to be 20 amp outlets. And we do have a battery that needs to be charged a little bit, as we can see. Got your red light going on there. That's kind of concerning, but let's go ahead. Put that in. Blue light's on. It takes a little minute for these to kick on and start charging. Fan will kick on in a second, and then this thing should start going. There we go. 32 watts, 40, 50, 68, 74, 93, 162. Okay, it's going. 193. Boom, jumped right on up there. And it's saying that we have 2.6 hours roughly left on this. Now let's do some math. So 2.6 hours, 100 at 190 watts. This is what, roughly 600 watt hours is at 86%. So 2 hours would be, if we round up, roughly 400 watt hours and a half. So yeah, it's about 500 watt hours. So, it seems to be getting close to the capacity of this unit, and it's charging it just fine. I'm gonna just let it sit here, and I'm gonna let it charge up and see what the percentage is at once it's done. Okay, so something unique just happened. An alarm went off when this thing finished charging. You see, it actually is showing up probably blue to you, but that is actually green. So this just finished charging. It's dropped down to 78%, and you see the watts out. It has decreased. It's going down, and we have also noticed that when this thing is charging, it does the same thing. It'll gradually stop, and plus, again, this fan is still going on to cool the battery off after it has finished charging. But I don't know where the beep came from. I've never heard this do that. And so I'm wondering if this kind of knew, like, hey, somehow we know that this is done charging. And so we're going to let you know via beep. So that's kind of interesting right there. And I got my regular Anderson connectors. I think those are Anderson solar cables, and they don't fit this. I don't know what this is, so there's that too. All right, so the fan just kicked on. This is down to 0 now. That's not doing anything. It just has that on, but the fan is on, so you can hear how loud that is. It's not very loud at all. Oh, but there's a light on in there. It's kind of interesting. Let's turn off the light and see how bright that is. So if you were in the dark, I guess it's not really showing up on camera. There is some kind of light showing up on the wall, but you can't see it inside. And that is more than likely coming from this display here. So if I turn this display off, turn this off, and see also if the fans go off. Yeah, it went off. Okay, so wrapping up this video and this review on this Hamswan, what do I think about this? I think the fact that this is a lithium ion and not a lithium iron phosphate is a huge problem. EcoFlow is getting rid of their lithium ion, their original rivers, the original deltas. They're like on super discount. So I would buy, obviously, something like that over this. This is lightweight. I don't like how the handle protrudes. Most of the other ones, the better design ones, have handles on the side like the EcoFlow to kind of keep it flat, or the handle folds down into the unit. But I will say this, though, it does work. I still haven't been able to figure out what kind of connector this is, because I don't have one that will fit this for solar. So that's a weird thing. You have to buy something else extra. It looks like it's a legit 20 amp, 220 amp outlets. Again, it's really just the older technology in terms of lithium ion. It's not going to last. I mean, the lithium iron phosphate batteries last like 5 to 10 times longer than these. So you have to keep that in mind. Right now, I saw this on sale. I think it's like $225. That's kind of interesting considering. Let's go back over the specs so you guys can see. Considering that it has a capacity of 642 watt hours and it produces 600 watts out. And it does. It does produce those numbers. When you charge it up on the inside of the house, though, it's very slow at 80 watts in. I mean, this is a super budget unit. I would like to see this at $100-something. So for the 224 or 225 that this costs, and that's going to be plus tax, which will bring you to about $250, you could get the Pecron, right? The Pecron is $299. That includes tax, shipping, everything. So it's $299 out the door for the Pecron. And if we put them side by side, here's what you get. Yeah, you only have one DC out, which is the case for most mid-range units. This has two, a 24 volt and 12 volt, which is good. But you have a more, as far as the solar goes, you do have this kind of proprietary pin here. There's a few others that have this, but the Pecron comes with everything you need. See, it comes with the solar cable, so it doesn't matter what that is. This didn't come with that. You have 1, 2, 3 USB ports over here. You have 4. You have 2, albeit 20 amp AC outlets, but here you have 3, and they are a dummy 3-prong. But I haven't had any issues with this. This is a solid inverter right here. You get 1200 watts out, as you see there, compared to the 600 watts out on this. You get a 642 watt hour capacity with this, though, and the Pecron is 614 watt hours. Both inverters are hungry, but again, this one makes more sense because it produces 1200 watts out. Wireless charging, a better handle mechanism. And the biggest thing, this is a lithium iron phosphate battery system as opposed to the lithium ion. So, I mean, you're really talking about $40 dollars or so more. Like, this is kind of a no-brainer. So anyway, that's my review of this thing. If you're still interested in this, hopefully they put this on sale and make it $100 and something. For $100 something, like 150 maybe, then this will be a strong competitor. But if this is too anything, like, I think it's kind of crazy to not go this route just for the lithium iron phosphate battery alone. So hopefully this is helpful. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.